Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Antiheroes Anonymous, or welcome for the first time if it's your first time joining us. I'm Ethan, and I'm the Dungeon Master for this 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons show. I will have some announcements and a recap for all of you, but before we dive into any of that, Nick, would you go ahead and start off a quick round of player introductions?
Sure. Hi, I'm Nick. I play Embers of White Ash, the Sun Soul Tabaxi Monk.
Hi, I'm Kay. I play Lady Alen'dal, who is the Elvish Circle of the Land Druid.
And hello there, I'm Melissa, and I play Tepence Wiseacre, the little wisecracking pixie bard.
Hi, I'm Zach, and I play Vert, who is a changeling armor artificer.
Thanks, guys. You may notice by looking at our layout that we are without one Yurdod today, but Jordan will join us again at some point. Without Jordan's announcements, I will go ahead and dive straight into our announcements, which is that we premiere our episodes on YouTube every Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Throughout the show, we use a variety of custom items as well as a custom pixie lineage, so be aware of that as you're watching. Our character portraits, which you'll see on the info cards and all over the layout, were drawn by an artist named Krista Porter, goes by @KristaPorter with 2 R's on the end on Twitter. If you need a refresher on what's going on in our campaign, we have a campaign wiki at World Anvil. There's a page on there called, what is it called? The story so far. And that's pretty up to date with what's going on, so you can check that out. The video description is another source for links and information about us and everything we do. But there are also some links to some Black Lives Matter and Stop Asian Hate resources in there. Finally, you can follow us on Twitter at Antiheroes Anon, and we just hope you enjoy the show, share it with your friends, and come back to watch some more. So, now that that's out of the way, let's play some Dungeons & Dragons, starting with that intro video. And welcome back. Previously on Antiheroes Anonymous, the Silver Seekers have been stopping in Fymir, the capital of Sergil, on their way to their new keep in Amberhearth. While at a lavish inn run by a cousin of Nora Froth-Tankard's named Tashawn Froth-Tankard, they met Yurdod, an orcish cleric of Bahamut. At the Argent Athenaeum, which happens to be Stratos's foremost library, a strange woman named Esme recruited the party to recover her confiscated spaceship and her alien partner, Europe. But Kashura and the League of Terrors, as well as the Emperor's Scarlet Claw division, are hunting Esme as well for their own purposes. The party has managed to keep Esme out of their hands so far, but a group of Scarlet Claw agents is approaching their hotel room now. And so that is how we will pick up. The group of you had a conversation with Esme the night before, deciding that she should continue to lay low in the crags of Mount Skorstein, leaving the group of you to have a nice long rest here by yourselves. And you are awakened rather early in the morning to a brief sound of a commotion outside of your door before a loud knock sounds on it.
Can we recognize the voices outside in the hallway before the knock?
You could roll a perception check if you want.
And do the doors have like peepholes?
I was going to ask the same question.
Sure. Yeah, they would. It's an upscale place.
All right. I did, in fact, roll a natural 20.
Oh my god. Oh snap.
Here we
Um,
go.
Yeah, you heard. You overheard some of the like big dragonborns with wings and their commander in like the full plate armor kind of talking as they were going into the library while you were leaving yesterday. And you recognize the voice of that commanding dragonborn, the one in the plate armor, as well as you would hear Tashawn's voice out there sounding kind of pleading. And I think Kalea would probably be pretty silent at this point, so she's not really saying much. But those are the main voices you would hear.
Is it just the voices or the conversation?
You could hear a snippet of the conversation, but it's basically just Tasha just kind of like continuing to plead, like, I really do insist that you don't interrupt my honored guests while they are resting in their own personal room that they have paid for in my establishment. This is highly unorthodox and a breach of etiquette. And, he's just going on about like how this guy has no right. And then basically the other guy will, at each turn kind of snap back at him authoritatively, like, no, I do have the right, that sort of thing.
Okay. Hmm.
And then did someone want to look out the little peephole in the door?
Yeah, I'll look through that.
Okay. Yeah, when you look through the door, you can see the full retinue, which is that towering dragonborn form in the like full black, red, and gold plate armor, complete with a cape down the back. Kalea, who you recognize as well, kind of standing in the background, looking a little bit irked. Tasha, even for early in the morning, just like full dapper suit, basically like standing next to the commanding officer, still continuing to plead with him. And then behind that commanding officer, there is the dragonborn with the wings who was like really, really big, like big enough to be a large creature, as well as 3 regular sized dragonborn with unwieldy looking wings. 2 seem to have whitish scales. One of them seems to have brass scales. And yeah, that's the group that you see out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of Imperials here, and a lot of them are people we don't really want to see. Ellen, can you handle this?
Yeah, of course. I kind of look at
Another knock comes
Coco.
at the door.
I'm gonna step way back from the door.
I'm also stepping
Yeah.
way back from the door, and I'm gonna like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask Tuppence, how many people can you pixie dust?
Tuppence is still asleep.
Sleeping through it?
All right, I'll wake Tuppence
Oh,
up. Ask her how many people she can pixie dust at once.
What? Pixie dust?
Yeah, we might need
This-
to get out of here.
I think only 1, but I'll check.
Opens up the Tuppence manual.
yeah, it's yourself or another creature you can see within 5 feet of you.
Just 1. Why?
Okay. I might need you to do that to me. It's depending on what happens here. I think everyone else can, but we'll see what
Another
happens.
knock sounds at the door, louder
Are
and
we
more
are we
insistent
ready?
this
We
time.
probably shouldn't keep them waiting too much longer.
Open up in the name of Emperor Stratos.
Oh, geez.
This is what you want first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Better open up.
I
Yep.
think-
I will.
okay.
Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
was thinking about casting Disguise Self on myself.
I mean, you've got about like,
I mean, I'm opening the door right now. So,
All right,
so
I'll
you've
do it.
got,
I'm gonna
like-
cast Disguise
now's
Self on
your
myself. Yeah.
what do you want to look like?
I kind of want to just make it a 2-layer disguise of Coco.
Okay.
I'm
Sure.
really, really Coco.
So if your disguise drops, you'll just be Coco underneath.
I will be
All right,
Coco again. Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah.
all right. I will open the door just a crack
Mhm.
and just kind of peek out and say, Can I help you?" You're making quite a racket this early in the morning. There are members of my party still sleeping.
The Dragonborn figure, who is at sort of the front of this crowd, turns to Kalea, and Kalea strides forward and says, "Hi, Elwyn. It's good to see you again. Unfortunately, we need you to let us in."
May I ask what this is about?
Yes. Arbiter Dolatos here is on a mission from the Emperor, and apparently that mission requires him to see your room.
I'm sorry, but why?
Arbiter Dolatos grabs the corner of the door and begins to try and pull it open. Do you want to resist?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not that I can do much, but
Are the doors equipped with any of those, like, I don't remember the name
little
of it, like
chain
the
latches.
chain latch things?
I'll roll for it. Odd or even?
Odd. I don't know.
It's odd. Okay, it has it.
All right.
yeah, then that's absolutely still latched.
Okay. I'll give you advantage on a strength check then.
Yeah, so strong.
Let me just find.
Oh boy.
Arm wrestling Tuppy needed to answer the door, I
I
guess.
think Tuppence should have answered the door. You would have imposed disadvantage.
Just trying to find the stat block here.
You're
Oh.
Okay, am I back now?
yeah.
Sorry, listeners. For some reason, my voice changer keeps slipping me into Niadon's voice. Just if it happens again, we'll just get rid of the voice changer. But yeah, bear with us for now.
Okay, well, that's only an 11.
Okay, I'm still trying to find the stat block because of the stupid voice changer. All right, here we go. Yeah, the chain rips off the wall and you are pushed back as this figure strides into the room and begins, it just kind of like strides to the middle of it and begins to survey the room. Tashawn basically bustles in and just like comes up right next to you, Elwyn, and says, "I am so sorry. I apologize from the bottom of my heart for this. I couldn't stop them."
Wait, it's not your fault, Sugar. It's fine. Why don't you, you can attend to your other guests. We'll handle this.
Yes, that's a good idea. This group probably awakened the entire hotel. And he kind of bustles out.
She kind of gives him an apologetic smile as he leaves.
The other three Dragonborn, the medium-sized ones, file into the room behind their leader, but the big blue brutish one looms in the doorway, kind of unable to get through it.
Now, I assure you, if you let us know what it is you're looking for, we can help you find it. We don't want any trouble. We're here to help. That's all we ever do, as I'm sure Kalea has told you.
As he's kind of surveying the room, the Dragonborn turns towards you, and the voice is very much like muffled with the plate in the way. But he says, "There is a fugitive in the city, which I have been tasked with locating and capturing. I understand that your group came in contact with this fugitive yesterday when an outside organization attempted to kidnap them."
Oh, I see. Well, I can assure you this fugitive is not here. We don't know what happened to her after the encounter yesterday, as we told the people at the Argent Athenaeum.
I understand that, but it is my duty to be thorough. And he kind of nods, and the other three Dragonborn begin extending these long poles, which they basically then begin to like sweep around the room, like tapping like walls and things. You could roll insight checks if you want.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh boy.
Do I need to have a dice cam?
Did you roll
get
another natural 20?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Okay.
I'm actually not. And that's why I'm like, This is unbelievable. I can re-roll it though if you want me to.
No, no,
but
no.
I
No,
swear
don't
to- I swear
re-roll
to
your
God,
No,
20.
no,
it's
Do
been
not
like
offer to re-roll your natural 20.
like-
Don't you dare,
please.
Zach.
okay.
How did everyone else do?
I think this
Yeah,
dice.
so I just want to point out again for everyone watching or listening, insight is Elwyn's best stat.
Oh,
She
no.
has double proficiency in insight. And I cannot roll above a fucking 5.
No.
It's okay.
I
I
rolled
got you.
a natural 2. So 10.
Okay.
I got a 17, not as good as Vert's 20.
I got a
Jesus
21.
Hey,
24.
Everyone but Elwyn can ascertain that
Damn
they're
it.
using these poles to like try and suss out an invisible creature.
Oh,
Um,
okay, okay.
So they're like using them in these wide sweeping motions, trying to cover the entire area of the room to make sure that no one is there.
I thought they were like dragon detectors, like a metal detector.
No,
Like,
they're just really long poles that they're using to like poke every corner of the room and make
Yeah.
sure like there's no invisible creatures.
Mm,
And they're doing it
okay.
in like a coordinated way such that if someone were invisible in a space, they would have trouble running.
They're basically making a net or something, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. While they're doing this, Dolatos goes and like pulls open the balcony door and begins to survey the sky and the walls around the balcony, and then kind of turns around to the group of you and says, I understand that the Silvered Seneschal has offered you the opportunity to continue to look into the attempted kidnapping from yesterday.
That's correct. We
Your
have
services will
yet
not
to-
be needed.
I see.
Yeah, and he kind of like strides back into the center of the room and looks to his dragonborn companions to try and see if they've figured anything out, and they all kind of like shake their heads no. I assume there's nothing invisible for them to find in here, right?
No, but Tuppy wants to fly over to our dragon egg and try to protect it from getting stepped on in the
It wouldn't be on the
Chaos.
floor. Elwyn has it in her pack with her most of the time. Or in the nest in the cupboard or something. It's not on the floor. It's not going to get
Well,
stepped on.
okay, whatever. Disturbed, trampled, knocked
All
over.
right. All right. All right.
Protective mother hen.
Yeah, you can definitely keep them from disturbing the dragon egg, though one of the white dragonborn like comes and tries to inspect it, but pretty quickly determines that it's like not what they're looking for. So with their search kind of concluded, those dragonborns begin to file out, and Arbiter Dolatos kind of sweeps to follow them, sweeping his cape as he goes. And then he just turns to the group of you and says, it would be wise of you not to fraternize with this individual should you come across her again. Leave her to us.
And what, may I ask, is your plan with this individual should you find her?
My job is to capture her. What happens to her from there is up to the Emperor's decision.
Insight check.
Okay.
I'm gonna one day roll really well on insight. One day. We will see. All right, that's decent. That's a dirty 20.
That's better than this individual, though there's no facial, markers to read because the faceplate of the helmet completely covers it up. There's something in the body language, just the way this individual tenses. You can tell that is not the extent of his mission. It is not just a simple capture mission.
Okay.
Or at least I will say that it's not his intent to simply capture.
Great.
Whether he was told to just simply capture her or capture her and kill her, you don't know. But simply capture is not the intent.
Great. Yeah. She's not going to say anything or challenge him. Just going to say, all right.
Yep. He and his Dragonborn sweep out, but Kalea remains for a moment. And she just kind of like she's shaking her head and you can see like she's gritting her teeth as he leaves.
Well, Ellen will kind of look over at her and say, well, that was one way to wake up, start the day, I reckon.
Yeah, she continues shaking her head and just kind of turns to you. That man makes me so angry. Do you have anything I can punch?
There's a pillow. You could punch a pillow on the bed. I don't know
Yeah,
how
she like
satisfying it'll
strides
be,
over
but-
to the bed and throws a punch at this pillow. The bed frame cracks. Oh!
oh dear. All right.
I'm sorry to ask when you're angry, but did we really lose that job? Do we not have work from the Civil Seneschal anymore?
No. I believe that it is important for the Argent Athenaeum to gain as much information as they can into this League of Terrors. And if they're truly involved, it is my opinion that the group of you should be part of the investigation. I've seen what the group of you can do. And she shakes her head. Just try not to get in his way and try not to let him know that you're continuing to investigate. But if he finds out, tell him I told you to do it. You can put the blame on me.
Wow, that's very big of you.
Yeah, she just is still like shaking her head in frustration, and she can see that she's like balling her hand into a fist, and just continuing to like grind her teeth.
What's his deal anyway? Who was that? Why does he walk in here thinking he's the most important thing since sliced bread?
Because he effectively is one of the most important things since sliced bread. He's an arbiter. The Emperor sends them to train and oversee new Draco spears who attain the title in their achieved positions. And, well, let me just say his leadership style does not mesh with mine. And so when he oversaw my beginnings as a Draco spear, we did not get along well. And I don't relish having him back in my city, but what am I to do?
Well, hopefully he can wrap this investigation up quickly and they can be out of your hair and out of ours.
She kind of nods a little bit to that, but she looks a little bit contemplative and she says, no, I doubt that man is likely to find much of anything. If anyone's
Why'd
going
you
to wrap
say
up
that?
this investigation, it will be a group of intelligent investigators like you. He's a brute.
Tell us something we didn't know. I gestured
She-
to the lock that he broke on the door.
Yeah, she nods and then she kind of glances at the broken bed frame and she starts to look a little bit sheepish and she says, I'll pay Tashawn for that and see to it that it's replaced for you. And
Thank you.
she seems to take a look around the room and realize she's the only one from the group still here, and says, right, I'll get out of your hair. Allow me to formally apologize for this morning's events.
Can I ask you something?
She
Say-
kind of,
Say we were to continue this investigation. How important is it that this individual is handed over to the Emperor?
she thinks for a second, as Ethan thinks about how important Kalea would think it is.
If you really don't like this arbiter person, we could make it look like he failed miserably. Make this individual disappear another way.
I don't like him, but he is important enough in the Emperor's retinue that a simple failure here will not discredit him enough to make him go away, as you put it. If the Emperor thinks it's important to capture this individual, then I'm sure it is, but to me, the more important thing is that we get information about the League of Terrors. And since this individual seems important to the League of Terrors, if we get information without capturing her, well, that's fine by me. And
Does
she,
this-
oh, go
Go
on.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that she moves to start leaving, but if you've got more to say.
Yeah. Is the Arbiter aware of the League of Terrors and their involvement?
She nods.
I'm curious what their connection might be too. But this is all stuff to figure out, I guess, if we are going to be taking this on.
Can you roll an insight check?
Yeah. Love to. Oh my gosh. Okay, no, that's a dirty 20. Again.
Okay, that's really good. When you say, I'm curious what their connection might be, it looks like you opened a new path of like consideration in her mind that she hadn't thought of. Like there's like a flash as she starts to like, you can see like gears start to turn in a different direction than they had been going before.
Okay, I'll take note of that. And just say, well, I appreciate you trying to keep the peace, even though ultimately the Arbiter got his way.
Unfortunately, with him in town, I'm used to being the ultimate authority in this area, and it irks me a bit when he's here because he is technically my superior. She shakes her head. Perhaps that's an issue with my ego. And she kind of stands up from where she was sitting.
Are we were talking about coming to meet with you actually today or tomorrow. Where are we going to find you? In the usual place, or are you going to be out and about? I can't remember because I have to look at my notes. The name of her.
I have to look at my notes too. Where is her usual place?
Where is the map of Fimir?
Boop, boop, boop. Pulling it up. Okay. She says, I spend most of the day at City Hall. It's pretty much in the center of town. But at night, I go back to my keep, Fimir's Hold, which is in the corner of the Mount Scorstein area of the city. So if you need to find me, you can always get off at either Central or Steward's Station, and then trek from there to City Hall, or Scorstein Station if you need to come and find me at my keep.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, she gives a little bit of an awkward nod and then begins to leave. And just as she's leaving, kind of shakes her head and says, I really am sorry, but I need to do this one more time. And she punches the wall and leaves a hole in it. And then she leaves.
Oh my. Does the door close?
Yeah, it's not fully off its hinges. Yeah.
I closed the door behind her.
It was really just the chain lock that came off.
The chain, the blob just popped off, yeah.
Tubby
Right,
flies over to the hole she made in the wall and says, she gets out her mage hand and see if it fits. And she goes, oh, this is going to be such a great prank to play on your dad. Yeah.
Great. Well, I turn around and check on everybody. How's everybody doing? Visually.
Ember's tail is in full like twitching back and forth, switching like fight or flight mode.
Yeah.
Coco appears extremely calm and composed.
All right. Don't need to insight check
Yeah.
that to know it's bullshit.
Well, actually, you do have to beat my spell save DC to know the truth.
Oh,
Because
No,
my
like I don't have to see
disguise.
it. I don't
No,
have to
my.
see it to know what's actually going on. Is my
Okay, fine,
point.
fine. If
I
you want to
don't
just
need to
infer
roll.
that, I'm just saying the disguise self is, you know, the
Sure.
front. Yeah. Okay.
Sure. All right. Well, does this change things for us? Do we need to reevaluate our plan or?
I really want to help Esme. I mean, now that we know everyone is looking for her, it seems really important that we get her off of the planet. What a weird thing to say.
I'm gonna cast Detect Magic and check to see if they left anything in the room while they were
smart.
sleeping. Before we talk further.
You don't see anything that nothing that you don't expect to see. Just the regular magic items that everyone has.
Okay.
Yeah, I still think keeping her out of the Emperor's clutches is the best thing to do. I don't know how we can do that and also make it seem like an accident, considering we've been hired to do the opposite. Although technically we're just investigating. Although it sounds like at least Kalea won't be so upset if we don't deliver. But we'll be making some powerful enemies. Unless we do it very carefully.
Well, I, for one, am really excited to meet Europe. We just might have to do it a little bit more sneakily.
Well,
Aren't you
considering we
excited?
were planning to do it without anyone sign off at all but our own. This is probably better than nothing.
Aren't you, Embers? I mean, my goodness.
Oh. Yeah, I guess.
We have the coolest jobs.
Vert's in the corner, cowering underneath an illusion, and Tuppence is like, our job is so cool.
Yep. That might be happening, but nobody's attempted to see that.
So what's the next move?
Should we look around the airfield? That's the only lead I can think of.
So we could, yeah, we could. Or we could go back to the Athenaeum and get all the information we can from there about the crash and where everything was taken first. We might be able to get a signed letter or some special permission to give us special access at the airfield if that's where the wreckage was taken.
Didn't you have a plan or something to locate the spaceship if you were close enough to it?
Yeah, I can do that. I also have this, and I pull out the spell scroll that we got back in Port Horizon Shroud at some point. Locate creature.
Oh.
I could use this to find Yurt, but
We need to
I don't
narrow it
know.
down first. So.
I don't know how well it would work, and yeah, it's a limited distance, and I'm not really familiar with him except for the description we've got. So I don't know if it would work, but it's something. But I'm hoping that we might be able to just learn where he is through sweet talking and name dropping.
All right. Well, where do you want to start? Back to the con, I guess.
Yeah, I think that might be best. At least we can let the Silver Seneschal, wow, that's a tongue twister, know that we're taking up the job to investigate. He might have some more. They might have some more information for us.
Sounds good.
Okay. So off to the Argent Athenaeum. Interestingly enough, do you try to collect your Dodd?
Did he say he was going to come with us? Then like when he said goodnight to us, was
I
it
think he
like,
just
Yeah, he
didn't-
just didn't want to be part of
Yeah.
the planning.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I feel like we wouldn't go out of our way to fetch him from his room, but if he was waiting for us downstairs, we'd take him with us, right?
Yeah.
He is nowhere to be seen.
Oh, he can catch up with us.
Well, I think I'm splitting up from everybody and meeting Esme at a different place,
That's right.
right? But before we do that, I will hand somebody a sending stone, which I am changing one of the artificer infusions, the one that gives Elwyn a her concentration. I'm
Hmm.
changing that to a sending stone, which I did during the long rest.
That'll be handy.
So I think it's a pair of stones. So I give them, that group, one of them, whoever wants it, and then I keep the other one.
Is
Okay.
it heavy?
For
Mm,
you, yes.
want it.
For
I don't want it if
you.
it's heavy.
Tuppence trying to hold this big stone.
it doesn't say how big they are. So I don't know. It might be heavy for you, I guess, but you're really strong, so probably not. It's actually probably just heavy for Elwyn
I mean, it wouldn't fit in your
everybody-
pack or anything like that.
compared to
So
Tuppence. Yeah.
if no one reaches for it, Torin starts reaching for
I
it.
will take it.
Yeah, just like hold it out in my palm, and then yeah, that's fine.
I'll take it. And I'll pull Vert aside before he leaves.
Okay.
Bet
Just-
he fashioned it in the shape of a heart for her.
That's for
It's
something
actually
else.
the shape of Tuppence picking her nose. is one of the stones.
Hey,
Yeah. Yep.
with mage hand too.
With mage hand.
Ah!
Yeah.
Ew. But yeah, I just pull you aside real quick and just
Okay.
check in. Are you all right?
No, but I will be.
We can still leave. It's not too late.
I think it's too late, but we'll be all right.
All right. Well, and I hold up the stone. You call us if there's trouble.
Likewise.
Good luck.
You too.
I'll rejoin the others.
All right. Which group do we want to go with first?
Go with their group first.
Okay.
Yeah.
The group of you make your way over to the Argent Athenaeum, and you find yourselves outside the gates. You've got your passes ready, and you're let into RomCon fairly quickly. It looks like, despite yesterday's disturbance, things are back up and running at full steam. There are people in cosplays running around. There are vendors who are up and selling their, art and costumes and fan novels and things like that. There are, more cosplay and like singing contests and things going on. And you can see all of the like the signage and stuff that was, yesterday directed towards Lawrence Starpike and Alice Rosedancer's new book announcements. have been replaced with signs broadcasting new books by Raylan Treesnarl and Gloriana Hartwood. Each of them is announcing a new book today. And so it looks like there's a lot of
drag a little bit by the Gloriana Hartwood poster just to get some information real quick.
Yeah?
Just read
see what kind of book is being announced.
Trying to learn some
Um,
info.
It looks like the poster's like a cover image, and it's a pair. It's basically, it looks like a pile of treasure, with like gems and coins and all these things. And there is a pair of kobolds entwined, like on the treasure in a loving embrace, and then the big head of a dragon looming over the top of them, and it's called Hoard of Hearts. That's her new book.
My goodness.
Yep.
I am excited about that.
And Raylan Treesnarl, just for good measure. Raylan Treesnarl is announcing a book called A Song of Seasons. The cover art is just the same, like it's one nature scene, and it just shows like the scene kind of shows one section in like spring, one section in fall, one in summer, one in winter. And the description of it says that it's a massive epic romance set in the Feywild. Yep.
Happy, do you read Elvish?
I do not.
I see.
I speak Sylvan.
That's also very important, but well, this author, and I kind of thumb toward the big tree snarl poster. She writes some real highfalutin mumbo jumbo, but it's kind of interesting, and this setting seems like something that might be appealing to you. But if you don't
Well-
read Elvish, there's really no point.
Yeah. Probably doesn't come in a pocket version anyway.
Might be
As you
interesting,
pass the stands that are selling these two books, Gloriana's is like a reasonably sized like novels, you know, but A Song of Seasons is like, it's a thick book. It's like 800, 1,000 pages, something like that, or longer, you know?
Yeah. One of your Outlanders.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. Ellen's just going to be looking longingly at the Heartwood books, but we'll just keep walking.
You could
We are
quickly
on a
purchase
mission.
one if you want.
Don't tempt me.
Okay.
We're on a mission.
Well,
There'll be time for
You can see that there are the books out that were announced yesterday by Mr. Starpike and Alice Rose Dancer. So it's not like if you miss it today, they'll be gone unless they sell out.
fine. Nope.
All right. What do you want to do?
Yeah, let's is Marble around?
Yeah, if you go into like the central area of the library, Marble is there kind of directing other stewards around. And you can kind of catch him in a moment when he's not giving directions.
Hi, Marble. I'm so sorry to bother you. I know
It's
you
the
must
group
be
of you
so
again.
busy.
Ugh.
Yeah, we have some business with the Seneschal, if you wouldn't mind fetching them for us. Or
I'm
bringing
not.
us to them.
I'm not an errand boy, but he kind of waves someone over, like tells them to go get the seneschal. I can have someone bring them here for you.
Even better. Thank you so much.
I see
You
you've
really
ditched
are
your
so
dad.
kind to
That was
us.
a good choice.
Oh,
Actually-
well,
Couldn't find him.
he had other engagements today, but, you know, hoping he can join us again tomorrow or whatever.
You'll be better off without him.
No,
He just
that
kinda
is not a very
nods.
nice thing to say, Sugar. You really ought to think more about that.
He rolls his eyes and then goes back to directing stewards. The eye roll says, "You don't know him as well as I do."
He has been very helpful. Okay, all right. Let's go wait.
He's so rude.
Might find the ship in Europe today. It'd be really nice to find him today.
Would be really nice.
And then we could have a third day of the con.
Oh,
Um,
we might have some downtime today too. Who knows?
We'll try really hard for you, Embers. Try really, really, really hard.
you don't have to wait too long before a steward comes back, the one that was sent off, and basically guides you to an office, which the office itself, when you're let into it, is essentially a mini library unto itself. There's towering bookshelves that kind of ring the room. There are a few smaller study desks interspersed throughout, but there's a clear like main desk that is just covered in books and papers, but they're all organized, neatly into like stacks, and you can see that they're marked with like tabs and things like that. It's a very well ordered study room in here. And sitting behind the desk and kind of poring over a thick leather-bound book, you see the kind of ancient, wizened, copper dragonborn form of Adrex, or was it Ardrex? Hold on, let me double check.
Ardrix.
Ardrex,
According
yep.
to my notes.
They have a cane that is kind of leaning up against the desk next to the chair. Ah, yes. Good of you to return. Good of you to return. I suppose you've thought about my offer?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we have, and we would like to accept, but on the condition that it's kept on the down low. There are some people in town that would not be pretty happy to hear that we are investigating, and we've gotten permission, of course, from the legate to continue our research, but we don't want to step on any toes.
Yeah, they nod with a knowing look in their eyes when you say that there are, when you mention those people. Yes, I understand. I got a bit of an earful after offering you the job, but Arbiter Dolitos really ought to stick to his lane of the street. When it comes to investigation, I don't think he will get as much done as the group of you. So my lips are sealed.
It's funny, the legate told us basically the same thing.
Yes, well, Kalea is wise in her own way.
So on that note, if we are going to be picking up the investigation, we would all greatly appreciate it if you could tell us everything you know about what happened the night of the crash, and point us in the direction of any remaining artifacts that might have come out of that.
They sit back in their chair, kind of fold their fingers together. So you believe, from what you've seen so far, that these two events are connected: the crash, the meteor, and the attack yesterday?
Well, I believe that it's...
They both involve ships in the sky, so it seems like a fair assumption.
The Dragonborn's eye ridges shoot up, and then they say, I see. So you've already figured out that little secret. I suppose there's no need to dance around it anymore. Yes, it was no mere meteor that struck the tower. It was, in fact, some sort of flying vessel.
Well, you did hire us for a reason. We're very good at what we do.
I'm relieved and a bit concerned to see that my trust was so well placed. As for what we know, so far, very little, but both... sorry, rewind that a bit. As for what we know, so far, very little. However, our top researchers are looking into the matter. Are there any specifics that you would be seeking to know for your investigation?
Top researchers like at the airfield. Where might we find them to talk to them and learn what they know?
The vessel itself is intended to be shipped out to the airfield, but it's my understanding that it is still within city limits at this point in time, in the custody of the Imperial Wardens. Now, this is classified information, so I hope you understand that I require the group of you to keep it to this room. There was...
We're very discreet and great at keeping secrets.
Ardrix kind of looks at you and says, "Is that so?"
I'm gonna roll a deception check. Natural one.
Natural one.
So that's a negative one.
Oh, it is Adrex. Sorry. Yeah, they kind of look at you and shake their head a little bit. Perhaps it would be best if you just don't speak when asked about these matters. I mean that in the kindest way possible. But I fear I have no choice but to reveal this information to you regardless. There was a life form aboard the vessel, which is currently being researched here at the Athenaeum by one Dr. Skorstein, a prominent researcher in a very specific field.
Can you
She
spell
considers...
that, please,
Oh,
for
yes,
me?
of course.
Skorstein.
It's Skorstein.
Okay.
Or IE, yeah.
Skorstein's Dr. Skorstein likes Skorstein Station.
Correct, and Mount Skorstein.
Wow.
The Skorstein clan of dwarves is incredibly prominent within the Empire's mining guild, and is the original dwarvish clan to settle this region. Now, Dr. Skorstein herself is somewhat of a black sheep amongst her clan, having chosen to devote herself to research and research of oozes and slimes of all things.
That is an interesting calling.
Adrix nods.
Has she learned anything of note? Would it be possible for us to meet with her?
I have yet to read her reports. She is technically an outside member. She is not technically a member of our staff, more of a frequent user of our facilities, so much so that she has her own laboratory set up in the basement. I could request a meeting with her, certainly, but she would be within her rights to deny it, as she is not under my authority.
Wow, that sounds so cool.
Is the laboratory open to anyone who uses the Athenaeum, or is it off limits?
We have laboratory facilities which are available to everyone who visits and conducts research here. However, Dr. Skorstein's laboratory is in effect leased to her, and even I do not have free access, unfortunately.
I understand.
Would a letter from you help us to gain access? Would it hold more sway?
They nod enthusiastically and say, yes, as I said before, I will certainly do what I can to arrange a meeting, but She is eccentric.
See. Well, we would very much like to speak with her, so if you could do what you can and let us know, that would be great. We would also like to see the vessel. Would it be possible to see it? I know that we're probably not meant to know of its existence at all.
Yeah. Adrix kind of furrows their brow and says, it would be difficult. Again, I hate to prove how useless I am in this circumstance, but it has been handed to the jurisdiction of the Imperial Wardens. So once again, I could provide a letter, which may perhaps grant you access, but I cannot be certain.
Let's see. Well, I reckon that's something we can also ask the Legate for if we need to. The wardens do answer her after all.
Adrix nods to that and says, yes. I do believe that Legate Kalea has a strong opinion of the group of you, so you may be able to convince her to lend some sway there. That's certainly more her jurisdiction than mine. I will say I do know that this vessel is scheduled to be shipped by train out to the airfield tonight around midnight, I believe. So if you want to see it, today would be the time to see it, unless you, well, I suppose if you don't mind a trip out of the city.
I understand. Thank you for letting us know. We will do what we can do.
I suppose I have 2 letters to draft now, don't I?
Please and thank you.
Yeah, and they begin to write out letters. Takes a few minutes, but not terribly long. Folds them up, stamps them with a personal seal, and then kind of hands them both to you. Well, actually, the one for Dr. Skorstein, they will hand off to a scribe who can run it off to her.
Thank you. Is there any other information that can come to mind that you are aware of about the night of the crash, or anything else that you think might be important that you can share with us?
I do not have much to share about the night of the crash. It seems you know as much as I do. I was waiting on an opportunity to hear what Dr. Skorstein has discovered, and I am eager to find out what Star is able to learn from this vessel. They have engineers over there who will certainly be equipped to gather information from that. The one thing I will say is I had some researchers investigate the drawing of what the group of you say you saw in the sky up above the city, and that is where things become troubling.
How so?
Though the image we had on record was not a perfect or complete match for the drawing that Miss Wiseacre over there rendered, it bore a certain similarity to records from long ago, books from the continent across the sea, Freydin, of technology and creatures that were more frequently seen when the tyrants known as the Illithids ruled over that continent. Troubling things if those are being seen again.
Well, considering what we know of the League of Terrors, it's not so surprising. Concerning.
Was a surprise to me, I will say. So it appears you know more of them than even I do.
Well, they are tied to the old, what are they called? monster races or whatever.
Tyrants, they're frequently
Old
called.
tyrants.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have ties to the old tyrants that used to rule in these areas. I know
Well, now-
Shara, the woman who attacked us, was hoping to bring back the UNT, bring them back into power. Wouldn't be
Adrix
surprised
kind
if
of
there are
scribbles
other-
these things down as you're saying them.
Wouldn't be surprised if there are other folks out there hoping to revive the other tyrants as well.
Adrix like thinks for a long moment and then finally leans forward across the desk and says, one of the main reasons from my knowledge of history and the events that unfolded thousands of years ago when the younger races of the world were rebelling against the oppressive tyrants. One of the reasons our rebellion succeeded was a lack of unity and cohesion amongst the enemy. If we truly here have illicit cooperation with UNT, that is troubling.
Yes, it is. Well, all the more reason to learn as much as we can about this League of Terrors and find a way to stop them before it's too late.
I agree. And it won't do that investigation any good for the group of us to be sitting here. And they begin to, stand up using their cane.
Yeah.
You have given me several new directions to set my sages researching. And I believe you may have some new directions to continue your investigation. So perhaps we all get to it then?
Yes,
Kind of flashes
yes.
a smile.
Thank you so much for your time and for the information. We'll
Yeah.
let you know what we discover.
Remember, mum's the word. Kind of draws a zipper across the mouth.
Elman does it too.
Always very illuminating.
Kind of shows you to the door and then follows, like locks it with a key and then follows you outward, but parts going in a different direction.
Once we're out-
Eccentric. Code word for crazy. This is gonna be weird.
So, so we're robbing that train, right?
I think that might be the best way to recover it if it's worth recovering. I think it's worth visiting before if we can get into the if the wardens let us in to go look at it and investigate it, figure out
I
what we're
don't-
dealing with, and if it's in one piece, even if it's worth recovering.
I wonder how big it is. This is gonna be really tricky.
These are important questions.
Well, our friend might have some ideas about how to get it back to. And if it's still in working order, maybe it's just a matter of getting her to it,
Yeah.
and then she can drive it away.
Mhm, mhm.
So should we go visit the legate and get a letter, or should we go down to the lab? I think, Tuppy, if you could, well, maybe it's best to find out whether or not we have access to the lab before we start snooping around.
Yeah.
What do you think? Shall we go down and see if we can talk to the doctor now, since we're here?
I really, really, really want to meet the creature.
Yeah, that would be here. Embers.
Well, I think that I think Adrix made a really good point about me just that the best thing for this whole operation would be for me to just keep my mouth shut and not let anything slip. And the best way for that to happen would be for me to not be there at all. So I was thinking maybe the best thing I could do for our efforts is I could just stay here at the con for a little while.
I mean, I will say
Well-
you are kind of waiting for a response to the letter, so you could enjoy the con a little bit while you wait for that as a group if you
True.
wanted to.
That's true.
Well, Ellen, I have another thought that if we're denied access to the lab, I could sneak in invisible and
Yeah, I
just
had the same thought.
see
I
if
was
the
wondering.
creature is there, and if so, I could kind of try to go and maybe communicate with it a little bit.
I would like to come with you if that's the case, because if I'm able to see the creature and speak with the creature, then locating the creature would be easier later if I have to do that.
Mhm.
That
Well,
sounds great.
If they end up moving the creature or whatever.
so
But we can relax for a few hours and wait till we get this the response to the letter, and then I do have a book I'd like to buy
okay, fine.
since we're here. And if we get a response to the letter and the response is no, stay out of my lab, then of course we can go and take matters into our own hands, so to speak.
Is it weird to me to kind of root for that one?
It would be the more exciting option, that's for sure. But if we have permission to go into the lab and meet this creature without having to put ourselves in danger, I think that is the best way to do it.
Esme said it was not a snake, right? I have your assurances it is not snake-like.
I have no idea, Duppy.
I think
Probably not.
Vert's the only one who's seen it, really.
Yeah. Please, Coco.
Oh, right.
Coco.
I'll stop talking now.
No worries. No one was nearby you when you said it. So.
Vert's ears are burning.
You guys think about how you want to spend a little bit of time at the con while you wait for a response to the letter, and we will switch over to Vert. What do you want to do?
Buy a book.
No, I also had a flashback of when Tuppence was like, "Oh, I want to go do that secret agent thing," and then like I remember the Mara and Mandus sneaking
Oh yeah.
thing, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
secret agent!" Yeah, that was great. Yeah, so I'd like to do a few things on the way to meet with Esme. I
Mhm.
would like to prepare a few of my rings with my infusion spell or my magical tinkering spell or
Sure.
ability, I guess. I would also like to keep a lookout for the Scarlet Claw and
Yep.
see if I can.
Oh.
Shoot.
Shoot.
All right. Am I good now? Am I good now?
Yeah.
What is going on with this app? See, here's the thing.
Laugh because you sound like Kylo Ren.
Here's the thing. I really would just like not use the voice changer this time, but I feel like Nyadon's gonna have things to say to Vert during this encounter,
Yeah,
like when
yeah,
he's
yeah,
off on his
yeah.
Leave
own.
it on.
So
It's
Yeah,
funny.
Next
Leave
time you
on.
do it, can you just say more or something like that? More. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'd like to look out for the Scarlet Claw to see if I can see them like mobilizing in any place, or they're like congregating in certain areas, or sweeping the city. Yeah. So I guess we'll start with that and see what happens on the way there.
okay, so let's take it one thing at a time.
Sure.
For your rings, you can do, or for your magical tinkering, you can do a number of objects up to your intelligence modifier.
Yes. So I'm gonna do 2.
Okay.
2 rings that are prepared, and I am instructing Soul on what to do in certain situations.
Okay. Just remind me when you use those.
Sure.
And then for the other thing, can you roll a perception check?
Yes. And for your information, Soul is in one of my pockets, and he is holding on to the sending stone, and he's basically ready to go if he needs to do something. Yeah, so I rolled the natural 20 dice. I didn't get a natural 20.
Okay.
I got a 10.
A 10, you say?
If it helps, my passive perception's 14.
Mm,
But I rolled a 10 for this check.
okay, well, we'll take the passive since you're kind of doing the infusion or the magical tinkering while you're walking. Sure, this time. As you're making your way towards the
Making my way.
there was like a square with a fountain where you were going to meet Esme. You're kind of keeping an eye out. You're watching. You're listening. You don't think that you're being followed,
Okay, cool.
and you find your way to this fountain. And yeah, it seems like no one is there.
Yeah, I'll just have a seat, and I will just kind of think about what I'd like to do today and things I would like to go and check out. But yeah, I'll wait for Esme to tap me on the shoulder or let me know.
It's really only like a few seconds after you sit down that you hear a sound next to your ear. Hey, I'm right here.
All right. Glad you're safe still. Let's get going then.
Yeah, it was a good night. How was your night, by the way?
And Coco will get up and start walking in a direction while he's responding. It was okay. We had some visitors.
Visitors?
Yeah, in the morning. And I think for this conversation he'll use message.
Mm-hmm.
And just to be more subtle, he'll explain that, you know, just I guess generally that they searched their room and were looking for Esme.
When you cast message to Esme, darn it. Raw.
Okay, am I better now?
Yeah.
Gosh, darn it. It was going so well for a while. When you cast message to Esme,
Yeah.
you don't get a response back to that message, but you feel a little, kind of tingling in your brain that I think you recognize. You've talked with creatures via telepathy before at this point, right?
Yes.
You recognize the sense of someone communicating with you via telepathy, and she just goes, I think this will be a lot more effective. No pesky word counts and stuff, you know?
Coco nods. in
Plus, you don't
agreement,
actually have
silently.
to whisper it and, let people see you whispering.
Yeah, I agree. This is very convenient.
So, does visitors have a different meaning in this language than it does in, the language I'm used to speaking? Because you don't seem happy about getting visitors.
It's like an unexpected visitor.
You hear the scratching of notes, and that's a bad thing.
Can be if it's people that you don't want to see.
Interesting. So, what's our objective today? Where are we going?
All right, so sort of out of character, the notes that I had for today or to try and do, let's see. So I'm gonna find a place that I can take the disguise of Byron. And I would like to tap into the information network of the city and see if they have if anyone knows any like inside dealings with or has information on the current events for the Argent Athenium. So
okay. So you find kind of a secluded alley or something like that where you can switch your form. You'd use the disguise kit for the outfit and then basically your natural changeling ability for the skin. Yeah. So you take the form of the bounty hunter Byron, who you encountered back in Twin Towns, and set about engaging with the less reputable parts of the city, I suppose.
Yeah. So I'll use any of the connections or I guess help that I got from what's his name? It's not Scorch. It was
right. It was Fritz.
It was Fritz. Thank you. Yeah.
If I recall correctly, I don't think Fritz had much to tell you.
I mean, I think like you had me roll. I can check my notes, but you had me roll and like a persuasion check, and then we just were able to just discuss at some length the details of like mannerisms of Byron and like who he knows and and Firemare and stuff like that. So maybe I had some leads.
Then can you roll me a intelligence check with your proficiency modifier, and you can take it at advantage because of Fritz's information.
Oh shoot! All right. Intelligence with proficiency. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a 23.
Dang. Yeah. Before too long, you're able to find basically like the members of, a couple other bounty hunters within the city who Byrant would have had dealings with. And their leader, she looks to be like a rough-looking human woman. And you managed to arrange kind of like a meeting with her. And as you understand it, she's kind of got her thumb on like the pulse of the city, so she's kind of one of the people to talk to for information on what's going on around here.
Okay.
And
And-
you end up in like a seedy bar with a
Okay.
meeting with this woman,
Cool.
who I don't have a name for. We'll call her June.
All right. So, is this a person that I was told about that I'm following up with?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so you would have like talked with like some gang members or something like that, just like, individuals who Byrant would have had loose encounters with, and then they pointed you in the direction of this person who kind of knows what's going on in the city.
Okay. And then so one of the things that Byrant likes is he likes to gamble. And so I will find a like set of cards or something. So when we're actually having our meeting, I'll pull the cards out and just start shuffling them, and
Okay.
then gauge June's interest level, because she would know that Byrant likes to have dealings over a game, and so maybe some wagers.
Yeah, when you come to this seedy bar where you're supposed to meet this woman, you walk in and there's like no one in there except for like a really big thug who is kind of sitting at the bar, but like not facing the bar. Like they're turned around and facing like the open space of this like seedy restaurant, clearly watching to make sure nothing goes down. And then there's this tough looking woman who is seated at a booth. The booth is like scratched with people have carved into the wood of it, and then there's like people have also painted over stuff with like graffiti tags and things like that. And she has her forefinger on like the pommel of a dagger that she's just kind of swirling around, digging a hole deeper and deeper into the tabletop. And she has a glass in front of her and a glass across from her. And when you come in, she just kind of motions you over.
Yeah, and I'll tip my hat at her and have a seat next to her.
I heard you died, Byrant.
I'm sure this isn't the first time you've heard that I've died either. I'll take a drink of the.
She picks up her glass and like motions to like raises it towards you as if to like clink it with you.
Yeah, I'll do that.
And I'm sure it won't be the last. She clinks it and drinks to that.
Yep, drinks to that.
Does Vert often drink like really, really hard alcohol?
I mean, probably not super often.
Because this is like it bites and stings on your throat.
Yeah, so he'll just
down.
like sip on it. I guess he's not gonna like swing it back and overindulge.
Yeah, the woman, she kind of laughs and says, "Oh, so you're taking it easy today? All right then. I suppose I will as well."
It's only mid-morning. We got a lot of time to do this if we need to.
That's never stopped us before.
I got dealings I need to work on today though. I'm a busy man.
Yeah, she kind of leans back, just like swirling the drink in her glass. So you float back into the city after I hear you're dead, and look me up for what? What do you want? What do you want with me today, Byrant? Let's just come out and say it.
I was hoping we could play a game of cards and talk about it.
She rolls her eyes, but doesn't say no.
All right. So I'll deal out the cards, and then we'll gamble back and forth a little bit. If you want to actually gamble, we can.
Just roll a d20 for me.
If depending on how it's going, I was thinking about having Esme cheat for me because she's
Well, let's roll
invisible and we have
Let's
telepathy.
roll a d20 and see how it goes.
Sure. I got a 3.
You lose the first round of gambling.
That's fine.
Pretty spectacularly.
Yeah. So.
And she kind of pulls your gold. How much money would you have lost in just one round, the first round?
Maybe like, I don't know, probably start out small, like 3 gold or so.
Yeah, she pulls that across the table and says, well, so you've bought the next couple rounds. Are we going to play for anything real?
I don't know. What do you got? What do you want to do?
She drops a platinum piece on the table.
Yeah, he'll match it. Is that
it? And yeah, she takes the cards to deal this time.
Okay.
You want Esme to help you?
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna do it as if she's like guiding you. I'll roll you a d4 for Esme.
Okay.
You can add a 4 to your roll.
So I got a 16.
Okay. Yeah. You hear Esme's voice in your head. Esme's kind of like probably over her shoulder looking at her cards. She tries to put off this air like she has this great hand. And Esme, you just hear in your head, I don't fully understand the rules to this game, but I think she's lying. Her numbers are really low.
All right. Can I raise the wager? Can I add like
sure.
5 gold?
Sure.
All right. So I'll put another 5 gold in there. I'd be like, I'll kind of squint at her and be like, you got nothing. And it'll push 5 gold on the table.
Would you roll an intimidation check?
Oh yeah. I'm proficient with this. It's 18.
She looks at the pot on the table. She looks at her hands again. And she tosses her cards down on the table face down and says, I fold.
All right. He'll scoop the pot and say, well, I'm here today to try and get some information on the Argent of all places, believe it or not.
Myrant, I've known you a while. I've never seen you lift a book in your life. What are you doing mixed up in that?
Well, I'm definitely not going to start with books, let me tell you. But I understand that there might be some interesting catch in there. Looking to score.
She leans across the table conspiratorially, getting kind of like as close to your ear as she can. And she goes, listen, Byron, I wouldn't be getting involved in that mess if I were you. From what I hear, they've got an arbiter, one of the Emperor's arbiters, looking for whoever this person is. I don't even think there's a bounty out because the assumption is that he'll find her. Or them, I suppose. This lady doesn't know that it's a her.
Yeah, and he'll grab like a small pouch of gold and kind of set it on the table, look like the coins clinking, and say, well, I'm feeling pretty lucky, coming back from the dead and all. I think I could do it again if I needed to.
The coins you put on the table, were you trying to like initiate another round?
No, I'm trying to initiate I'll pay for
a
information.
Show off? Oh, okay. She eyes the coins. How much would you say is in there?
It's like 25 gold.
Okay. Which is basically just what you won off of her, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Yeah, she kind of covertly slides it towards her direction. Well, I don't imagine you'll be living for long if you get tied up in this and cross the Arbiter, but, well, who am I to stop you? What do you want to know?
I want to know. Let's see. How do I want to word this? I want to know any recent dealings that anybody's had in there, and anything that can help me get in and out of there with what I want.
She thinks and says, well, if you want to get in and out of there unseen, I would be able to procure you a set of silver steward robes. That much would be easy enough. That would certainly allow you passage within the Athenaeum without arousing too much suspicion from anyone. As for recent dealings in and out of there, rumor has it that an armored truck was seen leaving the Argent Athenaeum and headed to a Imperial Warden's warehouse within the city. Let me see, where would that have been? Where would it have gone to? Just on the side of the Snowmelt Reservoir. I could get you the location for that if you're interested.
Of the armored truck? Is that?
Of the warehouse that the armored truck went to.
Okay.
I'll admit, I don't have too many people within the Athenaeum itself. There's
Okay.
not much profit in it.
Fair.
So I can't tell you too much about what goes on there beyond what I've heard in rumor.
The other thing I want is maybe some of your people to be tailing that Arbiter, so then I can know where he's looking. Might give me a better shot at scoring this.
Can you roll me a persuasion check?
Yes.
This will be a little difficult.
Sure. Can I use guidance?
Sure.
All right. With guidance, that's only an 18.
She looks like she's like really struggling with the idea, and then she says, I'll do it. I'll put some people on it, but you're going to have to sweeten the deal. This is not a hornet's nest that I want to be caught poking, and so it has to be very worth my while, Byron.
What's your price?
What would a good price for this be? 100 gold, 50 up front, 50 when we're done.
Let's start with the truck for now, or the location of the warehouse for now. I'll come back tomorrow if I need that as well.
Okay. She's already taken the pouch that you proffered. And so she kind of details the location of this warehouse that the armored truck would have gone to. And it's by the Snowmalt Reservoir, kind of on the east side of it. Not terribly far from the inn where you're staying. Let's see. And the other thing that she offers is Now, my people watching this warehouse have seen them gearing up this armored truck to move again. We don't know where it's going, but it looks like they're outfitting it with, well, a small army of Imperial wardens, each well equipped, armed to the teeth, and preparing to move something big somewhere else in the city. It's about this time that at some point in this, she would have like whispered a message to the thug who would have left briefly, and the thug comes back with like a small parcel, which he drops on the table in front of you, and then goes back to watching.
Okay. I'll kind of like raise an eyebrow at it and then take it.
Well, open it up.
Sure, I'll open it.
There is a set of gray with like silver trim robes within that you recognize as silver steward robes.
Okay. Got it. So with that, I guess with our business coming to a close, I'll look to get up from the table. And always a pleasure, June.
Wish I could say the same. Don't get yourself killed out there. She sits back and keeps drinking her drink.
What's one more? And then I'll start walking to the exit.
Okay. Yeah, you make your way out of there.
Okay.
And Esme kind of, you can feel her next to you. In fact, you can pretty much always sense when she's near you because then the fangs seem to slide out in your mouth.
Yeah.
And you hear that telepathy in your head, and she says, "So what do we think? This truck, that's important?"
That could be your friend.
Yeah, that would make sense. It sounded like they were, moving something important. So yes, sure could be, I suppose.
Yeah. So I think that would be a good place to start if we're going to be anywhere. And if we don't get much there, we could have June's people tail the Arbiter and see where he's putting his efforts into, and that might lead us to another point of interest.
As you're walking with Esme, what's your next destination?
I mean, I feel pretty accomplished with what we got from that meeting. So
Okay, then as you're walking with Esme, you feel a different voice besides Esme begin to rumble in the back of your mind. This time I'm switching to the voice intentionally, guys.
Vertinor.
Yeah. He'll kind of like roll his eyes a little bit. Yes.
What is this game you are playing?
I believe it's called Poker. Iodon is what we played earlier.
I mean, why are we not fleeing the city?
Well, I don't think everybody would agree with fleeing the city right now. And we aren't in any immediate danger at the moment, are we?
With the Emperor's attention as firmly fixed as it is on this city, we are in danger.
Sure. But also the fact that we've sort of agreed to look into this. If we just flee now, wouldn't that look a little suspicious?
Perhaps, but perhaps it is worth taking a little bit of suspicion in order to avoid being revealed entirely.
I am not fully disagreeing with you.
Is it really worth it to you to help this woman at the expense of your own safety, the safety of your friends?
I mean, it's not my place to make decisions on their behalf, but
She's all that's holding them here. If
sure.
she weren't in the picture, your friends would agree to leave with you, don't you think?
Here's the other side of the coin too, is that if the Emperor wants if he wants something, I'm sure it's for maybe some more power or control in some case. If we prevent him of that, isn't that steps towards our goal complete?
Yes, but there are ways to remove this woman from the picture without handing her to the Emperor.
Yeah, but
If-
it's not just the woman, right? It's her companion and her ship.
And what importance do they have to you?
I'm not sure if they have any importance to me right now, but I also just don't know what importance they have at all. Why would Emperor Stratos want them?
I suppose there is a logic in that.
That's what I'm working with. If there's any reason that that's not true, then I'm
Then what, Vertinor?
probably more ready to leave the city, like you said. If that becomes false.
Do you think you can convince your friends?
Well, I might not be able to control them immediately, but I could always make a decision for myself and leave.
That might become the prudent option. And if it is not possible, if it comes to it, I will help you remove this woman from the picture and steer your friends towards leaving the city. This I promise.
Would you like to elaborate on that?
You know what I mean, Vertinor.
And as Nyadon says that, you feel the fangs in your mouth grow a little bit more.
God. Of course they do.
And he just goes back to a rumbling in the back of your mind.
All right. Fun. All right.
Fun.
Well, yeah, from there, I guess maybe we'll just kind of wander a little bit, see if we notice anything from the Scarlet Claw, if they're looking around in the same areas or what they're doing, or if not, we'll just kill time and then
Okay.
look to
Roll
meet up
another
with everybody
perception
else.
check then.
Sure. That is better than the first one by quite a bit. That is 17.
17. You don't spot any members of the Scarlet Claw in this area as you kind of retrace your steps.
Mm-hmm.
However, you do spot someone you think in an alleyway watching you, and then when you kind of catch sight of them, they dart back into the alley.
I will ask Esme. Maybe I want her to follow them.
I can go take a look if you want.
What's the distance on this telepathy?
About 120 feet, I think.
Okay, stay within that range, and then I'll come if anything happens.
You hear the faint footsteps of her running off. I'll roll a stealth check at advantage for her. She needed that advantage because one of those was a natural one.
Excellent.
Yeah, she runs off in the direction, and you hear her thinking to you. Well, there's two people over here. Seem to be waiting.
What do they look like?
Well, one of them's kind of short. Leathery looking clothes. White hair. Short white beard. Looks kind of mean. And the other one is, wow, looks to be just made of all metal.
Do we? Is that just player knowledge? I know that was. No, we knew because they.
Mhm.
Okay. So from that, all right, come back now. We're leaving.
The other thing I will say is roll a history check.
Sure. Oh, that's pretty good. That's a dirty 20.
Okay. Esme's description, while not super helpful, I mean, not like super detailed, and triggers a memory for you. That the first person she described, like short with like the white hair. Gosh, that sounds a lot like Albert Coldlake. It sure does.
Oh no. Interesting. All right. Okay. Yeah. So I call her back and say we're leaving. Do you have any way to make me invisible too?
Nope, sorry, I don't.
All right, let's go. And then, yeah, I'm gonna head towards a very populated area and try and find some public transportation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, easy enough. Disaster averted for now. Let's hop back to everyone else. What did the group of you get up to during your free time at the con?
Well, I definitely bought both of the new books.
Okay. I think we decided they're 12 gold pieces each.
I can afford one of the new books.
Surely you have enough party funds to afford both.
Perhaps. I mean, it's for the library, right? So
Yeah, it's
we
for the
can
keep.
take it out of the party funds, right?
Mhm.
I'm sure that Coco would agree with me. We did find another tree snarl book that we quite liked back in Port Horizon Trail. I'll buy both of them. Party funds.
How much?
It was
20.
12 each. So
Yep.
24.
Okay. For $2.
Yeah.
Teppy is taking a nap on Ember's shoulders.
Embers is walking around, not really stopping at any one booth, but just kind of just like strolling the whole length and breadth of the con.
Mhm.
Really what she's doing is keeping an eye out for Kashura.
Oh, I see. Roll a perception check.
Yeah, I'm torn about whether I should use my all right passive, which is 15, or go for it. I'll do an active one here. Make a roll. Yeah, let's see, 17. I beat it by a little bit.
No signs of Kashura. You do at one point catch a glimpse of Arbiter Dolatos striding through the convention, basically knocking people out of his way as he goes.
Mhm.
Seems to be bustling about doing important investigation work. You also notice that despite initial appearances that the con is just back to bustling, it looks like some of the con goers are a little on edge after yesterday. And then the final thing that I'd say you notice is there's been an increase in security in general. It looks like more Imperial Wardens have kind of been placed here and there, especially at like, places that are, more crowded and stuff like that. And they seem to be keeping a watch on things.
Okay. Yeah, other than that, I'm not really getting up to much.
Okay. Does Vert try to reconvene with everyone?
I don't really want to go to the convention grounds.
Okay, fair enough. Then Vert doesn't show up, but eventually a what looks like a junior, like a younger steward shows up. It's probably like a water genasi boy, and so he's just like he's got drops of what looks like sweat all over him. And he shows up and he's got big old spectacles. Hi, are you the Silver Seekers?
Yes. Can we help you?
I'm Droplet. Yeah, I'm one of Dr. Scorstein's grad students, and well, we got a letter from the Silvered Seneschal, but I checked the doctor's schedule and she's just booked all through. So unfortunately, I don't think she can see you until maybe next week or so.
I do think we need to underline the urgency of our business with her. It
Yeah.
involves the fate of the world.
Pulls out like a book that is clearly like a schedule book and kind of gives it another glance.
Surely something can be moved around.
Roll a perception check if you want to like catch a glimpse at the schedule. Anyone who wants to.
Oh yeah, I'll do that.
Dirty 20 again.
18 here.
There are big chunks that are pretty much just like they're labeled all in common, so you can read them. But there's big chunks that are basically like research, do not disturb. And then every day, like 1 hour afternoon-ish, around 1 o'clock, there's a block of like 1 hour that says lunch, do not disturb. And then like there's occasionally meetings here and there, but like every little space in the schedule that would be open is filled with research, do not disturb. Yep. And he just kind of looks at the schedule again and says, I'm sorry, there's not much I can do. She's a very busy woman. So.
Yes, I can see that. But Droplet, you said your name was?
Yep.
Listen, we're here under orders of the legate. You know, Legate Kalia Bergcrusher, she wants us to, well, we're doing some work for her, and it's very, very important that we talk to the doctor. So if we need to bring our case to the doctor directly, we are happy to do that and leave you out of it.
I mean, that sure sounds important. And listen, if I can help, I may not be able to get you a meeting with the doctor, but I could let you into the outer library area of the laboratory.
That would be great. Let's start with that.
Okay, I can take you there right now if that's helpful.
Let's go.
Droplet leads you down to like the basement area of the main building, and there's kind of like a labyrinth of hallways down here that lead to various research rooms and laboratories. And Droplet takes you to one of these, which basically it's just like there's a wooden door outside the room, and it has a metal plate on it that says Dr. Scorstein on it. And Droplet kind of fumbles with ring of keys, continuously sweating as he does so, and puts a key in the lock, turns it, and lets you into basically what is a L-shaped library room. There's just rows of like small bookshelves in kind of the center area of the L-shaped room that you enter. And then there's bigger bookshelves on a couple of the walls, and then there's a desk against one of the other walls. And you can see from where you enter into this, you can see a big double door leading further into this laboratory area. But yeah, this is Droplet kind of steps back and lets you in. I can't let you into the laboratory itself, but some of her research materials are here, and you're welcome to wait and try and explain your case to her. But I don't know that she'll I don't know that she'll see you. I'll just leave it up to you. It just sounds real important, so this is the best I can do.
Thank you. This has been a big help. Do you also have access to her research papers?
Only those that are in this public area. She's got a private library in the back.
I see. So anything that she's working on right now wouldn't be out here yet.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say it wouldn't be.
Because if she doesn't have time to meet with us, we could at least look at her research papers and learn something. Is that something you could ask her to do, or should we just take you know what?
Droplet-
We'll take care of it. We'll take care of it.
Droplet kind of like, it looks like name dropping Leggett Kalea. Like, definitely it got you this far, but like he's hesitant to like do anything more.
All right. Well, you know what?
Listen, my grad program with the doctor's almost up, and she can be a tough woman to understand. She's a little bit quirky, so I'm just doing the best I can. This is all I can do. I'm sorry to say. And then he kind of goes to leave.
You've done so much. Thank you so much, Droplet. You good luck with the rest of your program. I appreciate your help.
Yeah, he
Let him
nods
go.
and kind of runs away, flustered.
All right, then I'll look at Embers and Tuppence and fluff out my skirts and go over to the big lab doors and knock as loud as I can. Dun,
Well,
dun, dun.
If you flip over to roll 20,
Oh shit!
I can reveal.
Man.
What is Bert doing there?
Yeah, we'll get rid of him in a minute.
We'll take him out of the picture.
So doors are here, and there is one over here as well. But when Droplet was talking about the one further into the lab, it was this one that Droplet was talking about.
Oh no! Why is
Um,
there a map?
Yeah.
Sorry, could you ping it again?
Oh no!
This is the door that Droplet was talking about that is further into the lab. Is Torin with you?
I would assume he came with us unless he's.
All right.
Yeah,
somewhere else.
I don't think he was with Vert.
Torin is here too. You do a big knock on the door, and I think we'll have to end today's episode there.
Oh my gosh!
We're running out of time.
Oh no!
Oh, wow.
Welcome to Dr. Scorstein's lab.
Yep. Just
I'm
gonna
excited.
bang on the door. Bang, bang, bang.
Cool, cool, cool.
Cool, cool, cool.
Great. Thank you. That
Oh,
was
right. We're
great.
still live. I've got to sign us off, don't I? I'm tired, guys. Thank you to all of you for playing. Thank you to anyone who tuned in to watch. We'll be back with more of this Monday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Hope to see you then. Bye.
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 Bye.